happened since Brexit. And one of the questions I would like to have answered this morning is, how are people feeling when you're on? Especially if you are listening and you move from a European country. Does what Theresa May has put forth make you happier? Does it make you feel safer? Or do you still believe that there are a lot of questions to be answered? Obviously, Labour, Keir Starmer, London Mayor Sadiq Khan are all saying that there's a lot more to be discussed on this, and that they would have had a...
Yes, but that comes under the no sugar Sherlock, doesn't it?
Of course.
I mean, you know...
No sugar Sherlock. That's lovely. I always say the rude word. Yeah. So, I mean, I also, Donald Tusk saying, you know, in the words of John Lennon...
Dreaming.
Is that a meme already?
Yeah,
it has to be, doesn't it? I want to see that today.
Dreaming that we didn't want to leave.
Yes.
That's it.
I mean, you know, you never know what's going to happen
These days.
It's a very strange political strata that we live within. And then the thousands of people living in these 600 blocks that could have cladding that is combustible. We will continue that story and that expression. Just heard your interview there. It's so frightening. Camden Council already removing cladding. I hadn't, of course, thought about the hotels and other office buildings.
Premier Inn saying they've got 3 buildings.
I know. Credit to them for coming out and saying it. And I had a moment where I thought, would that put me off staying in any Premier Inn? And I thought, no, I think the honesty and the straightforwardness and the way that they are addressing that immediately up in my estimation. So, yes. And then we have a woman coming in called Catherine Blythe, who has written a book about time and how we misuse time and how we really do think of it as an entity, and we're always rushing against the clock, and how really do we need to answer emails immediately? Do we need to do things in this amount of time? Should we switch off our Wi-Fi for 3 hours a day? Yes!
The thing is, if I don't answer an email straight away, I forget.
Oh no, if I leave it in my... No, see, I have a filing system. So once it's answered, it drops into a series of boxes. Well, I drag and drop it, obviously. Yeah. And so my thing is data nirvana, Petri. I want that little symbol on Google Mail saying, congratulations, you've answered all your emails. Even if they've just been, you know, slightly answered, then I can store them and feel... blissful.
Oh, I see, I'm utterly disorganised.
I don't believe that for a second.
It's true. Nikki, thank you very much indeed. So Nikki Bailey with you in 10 minutes' time this Friday. This Friday morning. Within the next 10 minutes, let's talk about children growing up. They grow up so fast.
London were left empty for years at a time.
Does the Prime Minister think it's right to discuss with her honourable friend the Chancellor of the Exchequer changing the taxation regime so that, as in New York City, these people face punitive taxation?
The Chancellor, Philip Hammond, was sitting on the government front bench, not far from the Prime Minister, but no announcement was forthcoming. Theresa May simply said Mr Bacon had raised an interesting point.
Sean Curran reporting on yesterday in Parliament. More as usual at 8:30 on digital and on longwave. It's now 9 minutes to 7.
And on the programme yesterday, the news presenter, Jon Snow, presenter of Channel 4 News, was discussing his experience at university, where, by his own admission, he didn't do very well. During the discussion, he said this about tuition fees.
I've never been very keen on the fee system. They're a terrible disincentive, and they favour the rich, obviously. I mean, if the family can pay, the child comes out in a much better state than the family that can't pay.
Well, that's certainly Labour's view, the SNP's view as well, it's fair to say, in Scotland. But is he right? Have tuition fees proved to be a disincentive for poorer students, an easy win for the rich? Professor Celeste Ebden is Director of Fair Access to Education, which is the independent public body that regulates access to higher education in England. He's on the line. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Is Jon Snow right or wrong?
Well, he's actually wrong, because there are more young people from disadvantaged backgrounds entering higher education than ever before. Although there were widespread fears that the impact of raising the tuition fee cap to £9,000 would affect participation, there are more people from disadvantaged neighbourhoods than others we're not seeing that effect. In fact, in the United States, where fees have gone up considerably, it tends to be the rich who are disincented rather than the poor. And I think the reason there is that people realise that being a graduate, getting a degree, getting on in that way is your best chance of improving yourself.
There is a concern, though, that message doesn't necessarily get through to everyone it should get through to. There was a study by UCL, wasn't it, by the Institute of Education, quite recently, that suggested actually worries about debt levels were going up, particularly among the lowest of low-income families. And you could understand why that might be, couldn't you? Is that something in your job? Do you notice that potential effect, and do you try particularly hard to combat it?
Well, we have seen an increase in mental health issues amongst students, although we've also seen that amongst the general population. What we're talking about at the moment is the remarkable rise of some 73% in the numbers of most disadvantaged students in our universities since the introduction of fees. What we haven't talked about, of course, is the fact that that is young full-time students. We noticed that mature students are much more likely to be put off by the debt, and also that part-time students have decreased by 61% since 2010 and the fee system introduced for them.
Professor Celeza, thank you very much.
It's 5 to 7. Glastonbury, the world's most famous festival, starts in earnest today. I've seen pictures of people who've been turning up to camp there since Wednesday. Radio 1's Gemma Kearney is there. Good morning, Gemma.
Hello.
And looking forward to seeing what over the next few days?
There is so much to see, but it's not just about the music. I know that everybody's gassing and getting excited about who's to be announced. Could it be Harry Styles? Who knows? But you know, there's so much more. There is just an amazing atmosphere here, from hippie fields where you can get completely healed. You can go and hang out in the green futures field and think about an alternative future environmentally or holistically, or it really is a mind blown. I've been here since Tuesday on pretty much a deflated airbed, so I feel like a veteran now.
And a veteran, but who are we going to see? I mean, there are the likes of Ed Sheeran there, Foo Fighters, Radiohead.
Everyone's very excited about Radiohead tonight. My particular crew of people, there are 10 of us, are divided between Radiohead or Major Lazer. Very different acts there. Major Lazer, kind of a dance hall infused bum shaking get down, where we're kind of guaranteed an incredible light show, projections and lots of sweating and dancing, and then you've got Radiohead, more kind of, I don't know, considered, let's say. So I'm still divided on that one.
And also someone we're more used to on this programme, or at least talking about, Jeremy Corbyn.
Absolutely, there is a lot of excitement about that. I think it's going to be brilliant. He's introducing a really amazing hip-hop act as well called Run the Jewels. He's just sort of before them, so we're hoping that he might stay on and maybe just like whop out a few rap lyrics. That could be good, right?
Now, for those who aren't going there, one of the things I've just discovered on our website is there's a webcam, so you can actually watch it. You can literally see the whole sort of the fields and the setup live.
It's absolutely worth checking it out and heading to all the